Hey Race fam, it's Brian Davis Races, and you can too. Today, we are at a Fatbike race, and it is extraordinarily early. It is 6:37 a.m., which does not coincide with my general constitution in life to wake up this early, but here we are. Let's suit up and go for a little ride. I was thinking it was your first race.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I am tired.
It'll be way more fun in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Good job, buddy. Way to go.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Happy to have you. Time right in the beginning, please. Thank you.
I'm gonna get you some good video.
Appreciate you.
By the way, I'm sorry I did not thank you for the cover shot. I don't get many.
10 seconds.
Oh yeah, you're like a mad. I'm like mad.
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
5,
Focus.
4, 3, 2.
Hey, race fam. Brian Davis Races, and you can too. I am recording this months after this race, but I had it mostly edited. I just lost my mojo to do YouTube for a bit there and took a big break. So I'm going to try to get back on the horse and make some more content. So appreciate you smashing the like button, subscribing, leaving a comment. It really does go a long way, and it certainly helps the channel, but mostly it helps me realize that there are people that watch the videos and maybe you learn something or maybe you enjoy the entertainment. I don't really know, but I appreciate any feedback I get. It goes a long way to keeping me motivated to do these things. And if you want to be a YouTuber, please do so. And then maybe I won't have to be a YouTuber because you're going to be a YouTuber and you'll probably be better at it than me. So that'd be great. Thanks. All right, this race was awesome. It was cross-country skis, right? So normally there's absolutely no bikes allowed in this park. I'm sure I'll butcher the name of the park, but Neshota Park, and the organizers at Broken Spoke found some way, shape, or form to get access to this park. This was like the last remaining bit of snow in the entire region, and they were able to figure out a way to get us in there. So I love this type of racing, actually. I know it's not super popular with other people, but I like this type of racing because to me it's more like road racing, and that's what I like to do. So getting in a group here of 10, 15 people in the elite category, and we're just going to keep the train rolling. I don't see who's on the front. Oh, that might be Scott. Might be Scott. So this was an interesting race, the way it just sort of unfolded, and I was actually really happy with my result, and I'm really happy with the way that I put the race together. So there were a few things with the course that were interesting to keep things spicy, which is always the case with Fat Bike Race. And just to keep this on point, like if you have never tried Fat Bike Race, I cannot encourage you enough to try Fat Bike Race. It is a great way to get into bike racing without a ton of stress or pressure. Everyone around fat biking is much more laid back than maybe some other disciplines are, and it's just fun. Nobody gets too wrapped up if they crash or whatever because it doesn't really hurt that much. So here comes Cole House. Now let's keep an eye on Cole because he's going to be an interesting part of the story a little bit later. Cole wins a lot of races, always has. He is a professional mountain biker and was professional on the road, so he's got tons of experience and skills, and his bike handling skills are insane. And his fitness, when he wants to be, is insane as well. So he is moving on up to the front, and I'm thinking to myself, that guy kind of knows what he's doing. Maybe I should think about doing the same thing. And I think this is where it dawns on me. Yes, it is. That I think I want to be a little bit closer because I pre-rode the course and there's some ups and downs. But there's mostly it's the downs that are interesting because there's a couple features in the course that make for decisive splits because there's only one way through a particular area that's coming up, and if you're not in the lead group or you're not able to handle that with speed, it's going to cause quite a accordion effect or concertina effect, as they say in professional announcing. So I do move myself up here to the front. There's a couple long climbs. Well, not long, but by Wisconsin Midwest standards, they're fairly long. And again, apologize. It's been so long since this race. I'm going to screw up people's names and placings and where they went and how it unfolded, so bear with me. So I think that this is interesting. This is the rider up there that's just leaving the coop, and then Mike Budd, and then Scott Van Thiel, and then myself, and then there's the gap, right? So the person leaving the fold here is going to get chased down by Mike, and ultimately I believe, I don't know if he leaves this early or do we all come back together for a minute and then he leaves again. I think we're going to climb the next hill. And this is the part coming down into this creek. There's pretty much one way through here. So if you're not in the first couple riders or somebody hesitates before you, you're going to lose a ton of speed. So that little bridge there, or ice bridge, is kind of the only way through. So you can see behind me, if there's a gap or somebody's going slow, you're going to have to make up some ground, and you're going to be making it up on this pretty steep hill. All right. So I think this is how we settle in here for a little bit, and I kept this video long because I just want to go through more of the race, and if you're on a trainer, it's a great way to pass the time. So I'm going to try to keep these videos a little bit longer than the formerly recommended 8 to 12 minute mark on YouTube, and I'm going to aim for like 20 minutes on these race recap videos. Yeah, that's just what I'm going to do. So hopefully you like them a little bit longer. There's plenty of shorts out there if you want 10-second clips or 8-second clips, but I'm not very good at that. And I am sick, so I apologize for my voice. I'm so stuffed up. I just got done racing the first crit road race of the season, and I'll have a video coming up on that one here shortly, but wanted to catch my backlog first. All right, so that bridge. Oh, dang, I should rewind. Anyway, that part is super interesting, right? So what happened was there was a creek running through the trail right there, and they came out earlier and built like a little bit of an ice dam to keep it functional, but not understanding hydrodynamics, just like I wouldn't have either. The little dam got built on the wrong side. So ultimately, it's going to create more of a problem rather than less of a problem. So it actually floods up that spot pretty badly by the time we hit the second lap. So just to give you some reference, some of those clips I had prior to the race were after my race. So we raced first thing in the morning, which was awesome. So we had the best shot at trails and the best shot at those weird ice bridges and things like that. And now we're just finishing up our first lap. So yeah, I don't even remember how many laps we did. Okay. But you can see from the course, mostly snow, which is awesome. I brought my new bike, which does not have studs, lightweight wheels, all that jazz. Beautiful bike. Absolutely loved ripping that thing. And I was feeling pretty decent on fitness for this race. I think my weight for winter got up a little high in December, and then I started my Fitness Pal, and it got down by the end of January. It was pretty far down. I believe this is like the first week of February, if I remember correctly. So here we're starting the second lap. We're still all bunched up here, despite that gap in the beginning of the race. There's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 of us there in the lead group. I think, yeah. I don't know what happened to Cole, actually, after he went up to the front on that climb. I don't know where he went, because he's not up there anymore. But we will see him again. Trust me. I think a little gap was created. I'm not sure how he got behind us, but anyway, there was a little gap created, but they're going to bring it back. And now, or is that Cole right back there? That might be Cole right there. All right, so this view is going to be pretty much my whole day is following Scott Van Thiel. So Scott's ahead of me. It's incredible power, tons of fitness, just an absolute diesel engine. The other two riders ahead of Scott are going to make their little move here shortly, and that might be the end of seeing them shortly. We'll wait for it here. And we're going to go down after... Oh, there's 4 of us up here, sir. Yeah, that's it. I'm the 4th one. Duh. All right. Now, these climbs were, we were handling them at a pretty reasonable pace first couple laps, so no one really attacked on the climb, which was a little bit surprising. I thought that might have happened, certainly on the second lap. But I was all for it because I don't love climbing, right? So not a secret there. So the least amount of power I can put through a climb is what I'm looking for, and I'd rather keep a bunch till the end or somewhere near the end where I can only have to expel a little bit of effort for a short amount of time. That's more my style. All right, we're going to go across the ice bridge here. Tunk, 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 tunk. And still got a pretty good group of people. And something must happen here because I put it back to regular speed. Okay, what's going to happen? Okay, that's what's happening. Mike, that's interesting. I didn't know Mike was the one who initiated the attack. So Mike Budd initiates the attack, and then the rider from Collective is going to follow him. Ooh, I can almost remember. I think it's Thomas. Last name starts with an O. I should look these things up, but I don't. I'm a one-take wonder, friends. One-take wonder. So now we got a pretty good gap behind us. Scott, I do remember this now. Scott was, his descending skills were a little, he was a little less confident than I was. I felt great that day. I think my air pressure was completely dialed. Maybe Scott was a little bit heavy on the air. As I could tell, he was a little uncomfortable in some of these more technical downhill areas, and I thought, well, I could probably get by him, but then if I get by him, I'm the one having to do the work. So it wasn't bad enough where I felt like I have to get around him. And then when we'd get on flats, he would put me in the hurt locker. So even if I did get around him, I know that I'd be giving it right back to him as soon as we got to an area that's less technical. And I'm a decent technical rider, but yeah. Oh, that corner is interesting, so pay attention to that. Super sloppy in that, just past the apex of that corner, but going into the corner was generally fine. And here's this bridge again, or this ice dam that's kind of in the wrong spot. So they built this snow bridge, and that works fine for the first 2 laps. There you go. It's going to be very different by the time we get the 3rd lap. And the reason for that is they let probably the intermediates go after us. Excuse me. And so, yeah, we're already going to be dealing with lap traffic here, and that is going to definitely be the case. Oh, now I remember what's going to happen. How Mike and the second place rider currently get their split. Now I remember what happens. So stay tuned. There was a little spoiler about lap traffic there. All right. In a second, I'm going to speed around to this 3rd lap. I don't know if we did 5 or what. Must have been 5. And the weather was, I think it got up to in the morning it was chilly still because it was, 8 a.m. start time. But later in the day it got up to 40. It was awesome. Gorgeous day out there. And this is the last race of the Snow Crown Series. So again, if you are thinking about doing fat bike racing and you live anywhere near Northeast Wisconsin, the Snow Crown Series is a great way to dip your toe in the water. Otherwise, there's a series around Milwaukee area called Hughjass, 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 and that's also a great series, even probably more relaxed than the Snow Crown Series, and a lot of fun. All right. Oh, there's Cole. Hey, buddy. How you doing? It's amazing. He's always in the mix, and even if he's not in the mix, he can get himself back up into the mix pretty quickly. So super impressed. Always when riding and racing with Cole, just I learn so much from him, the way he takes corners and the way he moves himself up when he needs to, and he can pass people like a magician. It's really quite incredible. And I cannot do that. So here's a rider up. What do we have? A lap traffic coming up. There we go. A little lappy. I'm trying to think where we're at on the course now. Oh, good. I'm glad I sped it up. Oh, this is the turn. Hard left here coming up, I think. This is the turn that'll be interesting later. Are we getting to it? We're getting to it. We're getting to it. I promise it's coming. Okay. Hard left. Nope. Where is it? Oh, one more climb. Okay. All right. Now this climb, I thought this must be the 3rd lap. So again, lap traffic, and I thought someone was going to attack for sure here, and they do. I think this is when Mike and I'm almost positive it's Thomas take off. And the reason they do is actually brilliant, is because as we're passing these, I guess they're not lap traffic, they're from a different race that started after us. So as we're passing these folks, they can create quite a bit of turbulence in our race, depending on how you utilize that course feature, so to speak. And they're going to use one of these other riders brilliantly to get some space. Oh yeah, there it is. So see that rider up there in the blue that's just ahead of us. And I remember this unfolding. I was like, I'd really like to be ahead of this rider in the blue, because I don't think this person has the descending confidence to really hit this ice bridge the way it needs to be hit. And now watch those two. They're going to just start in front of that rider. I'm almost positive. Yep, so there's the slower rider here on the left. And that creates just enough havoc where Thomas is able to get around that rider first, get to that ice bridge before the slower rider. And now Mike is going to have to close that down. And then Scott plays his cards differently and just doesn't go for that move, doesn't follow Mike, I believe, up this hill. Or is that Mike that went ahead of him? Yeah, sorry. Gosh, man, I'm in rough shape today. That's Mike that went ahead, and now Thomas has to close. And now I am suffering, and I think that was just enough. Oh, it was this downhill where I think Scott does not quite have the confidence to stay with those folks. And you can see behind me that those riders from the other race caused just enough distraction or impediment. I hate to even call it an impediment, but we'll call it a distraction. Caused just enough distraction to create that gap, and now the people behind us have to close the gap, and now I'm in no man's land. So either I need to bridge up to the leaders here, or I need to wait for the other folks. And I think on the downhill, Thomas is going to lose Scott, and I'm going to catch Scott as a result. Oh, maybe I'm totally wrong again. All right. Oh, that's what happened. All right. Well, Scott bumbles that turn a bit, and now this is going to be what happens here for the next couple laps or lap. So you can, here's the water, just brutal. Like, you have no idea what's in that puddle. You just do a Hail Mary and roll your bike through there and hope for the best. There could have been a log in there. There could have been a giant rock. Don't know. All you can do is go fast and get your front wheel in the air. So, and the other issue is, maybe I cut it out, but I think it was the lap before or after, maybe this lap after this, some of those slower riders were so hesitant to go through that spot that they were just like walking through it or trying to get the ice bridge across, like doing all kinds of crazy stuff instead of just blasting through it. It is really the only way to do it, is to blast through it. But in their defense, they don't know that, and they're concerned about what they're going to hit in that water. Totally get it. But that was the right way. So, okay, this is interesting. Mike must be way up the road. Now, how does Thomas go get him? I don't know. We're both going to find out for the first time, Race Fam. I don't remember us three being in a group this long. So, oh, there you go. I think Thomas is just pulling away. That's all it is to it. And these, the second race, you know, everybody's great if you just say leaders coming or whatever. Most people move right over, no problem. But they're doing their line too, and they're sketched out about snow and ice and water and whatever else. So they're trying to do their line as we're going by, and it can get a little crowded. So, all right, there's Thomas grinding that hill up, and then there's Scott. And I thought this was probably the moment that if I wanted to do something interesting, it should have been right there. And looking at it now, it's like, oh, dude, why didn't you bridge? He was right there. You could have, for putting a 20-second effort, you could have bridged up to Thomas and then hung on for potentially been sitting in third place. And things might have turned out. Yeah, but I don't do that. I stay on Scott's wheel. And again, Scott is super strong, and I think, there's some areas in the technical parts I could pass him, but then he's just going to catch me again. So I'm just going to hang out here and try to rest up. I am well aware that first and second are off in front of us by quite a distance now, but it is what it is. I don't mind that. A third place finish for me would be amazing. So here comes Cole. Again, Cole's closed that gap somehow and is back in the hunt. And then the name of the fourth rider there escapes me. He does cyclocross generally with me as well. He is an absolute beast on a cyclocross bike. And I believe he did. I don't know if he did all four races. I apologize. I cannot remember his name right now. All right. So now we're going to get settled in and create our little train here. But the train is really just relying on Scott. So there's our turn. And here comes Cole trying to pass me. And Cole, oh, eat shit, Cole. Trying to pass me on the turn. Nope. No soup for you. You might remember Cole made fun of me last year in a cross race, like during the race, and made that line, ha ha, and now I get to make fun of him. Ha ha. I think I gave him enough praise earlier in the video that I feel confident I can make fun of him now. So thanks, Cole. All right, look at this thing. Whoa, gosh, that is so stressful. All right, now we're gonna. Now the third rider in our train here is gonna change here after Cole goes down. My cyclocross friend behind me. Oh no, that's not my cyclocross pen. That is Paul. Okay, so it's us three. Scott, myself, and Paul. Paul is taking up third spot, and then it's all three of us are just going to go together. Paul's not going to come and pull. I'm not going to come and pull. Scott's just doing everything, and I think Scott's just thinking that we'll wear out, and he would have been correct. He would have been correct for sure. He had me absolutely at my limit, and I think I was sick this day too because I was coughing like crazy. He even asked me like, "Are you okay?" Like, yeah, I'll be all right. I just had something in my throat or whatever it was, so I was constantly coughing. Now we're going up these hills again, and again we're pretty human pace. This is pretty relaxed. It's not that bad, and again I needed that because if we would have been pushing these hills, I would have been for sure dropped. But again, it makes you think like, well, maybe you should have been the one moving up and putting a little bit of pain on Scott and Paul, but. You know, the question is, what do you win if I do that? Well, what I win at that point is I'm by myself in the middle of the two leaders, and then these two would have collected each other, and they would have been riding just fine, right? So I would have been in no man's land in between them, and that's not really a great spot for me. I just don't have that confidence that I have a diesel engine like that. That's just not how I'm built. I can't sit at 350 watts for 25, 30 minutes and have it work out for me. That's just not how it works. All right. There's Paul's going to take my second spot here. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. You do that. And Paul's just back here chatting, having a good time, like not even breathing heavy. And that was hard on me mentally, if I'm honest. That was tough. But yeah, we are just all aboard the Scott train. So thank you, Scott. I thanked him after the race for all his work because I really appreciate what he did for us here, or did for me, or however you want to say this. Oh, here's the slower riders are really struggling with how to get through this thing, and there's just no way to do it except go fast and hope for the best. And then when you go slow, it's just going to make it so much worse. So if you're watching this and you're curious how to handle something like that, man, just go for it. Because even if you hit a tree or a rock in there, you're just going to flip over, and going faster is probably better for flipping over than it is going slower. At least maybe you'll flip over hard enough to land on your back, and you'll for sure just turtle it, and you'll be in good shape. So when in doubt, just go faster and lift the front wheel. It should all work out fine. I don't really see how that could turn out poorly. Nah, you'll be fine. All right. So I believe we're going to be, once we clear around here, we're going to get into our last lap. And the snow is holding up really quite well. I mean, you can see Paul hesitated on that loopy little turn there because it's getting a little bit loose in the corners. But overall, the snow is in really good shape. Oh, so sorry for my cough. This is brutal. Brutal. Absolutely brutal cold, whatever I got. My son was homesick, and I still have it. He's almost a week and a half later. He's still coughing and hacking, and I'm in for it for the next 2 weeks or so. So I'm recording this on May 7th, and I believe that this race took place, like I said, second week of February or something like that. So, yeah. All right, now we're coming around for our third lap. We're still going to have Scott run us through this third lap. Here we go. Hi, Mark. Hi, Sean. Hi, fans. All right, that was so much fun. Let's do it again. I don't have power on this bike, so I don't do the power overlays. I just do, the rear view camera is plenty to see what's going on, and that was enough for you to be able to see Cole bite it in the corner. So you're welcome. You're welcome for that. Glad I was able to capture that footage. Good times. All right, through the ice bridge, up the hill again, down the hill, up the hill. All right, now we're going into these flats again, and this is where something interesting happens up here. It's going to be that same turn where Cole came to grief. We're going to have an interesting turn of events here shortly, I believe. Wait for it. There it is. All right. So Scott goes down. Paul says, "You okay?" And then starts hammering. And I just did not have the mental capacity to react to Paul quickly enough. I think that was a big part of it. And then once he got a gap, it was over. And like I said, Paul was just not stressed in this race. He was breathing easy, having a good time, talking, and I was definitely not. I was pretty maxed out, even following Scott's wheel. And now I know that if I can catch that wheel, and if I could beat Paul, I'd get maybe my first podium in a snow crown race, and that was cool, but there's nothing I could do about it. And there I am. I'm right there. And then I'm not right there. So I don't know. Maybe if I could have gotten through that puddle a little bit quicker, or put the power down a little bit better. But Paul, in my defense, Paul is absolutely freaking hammering at home. He realizes this race is almost over. I think we're probably maybe less than 5 minutes from the end, and he is just cooking. And then he opens up this gap like crazy. And I keep thinking to myself, well, once we get on that uphill, maybe I can power through that uphill and pull him back. So I'm gonna give it an effort, but it's gonna be a little bit too little, too late. So in the end, I'm gonna end up in 4th in this race. I'm actually quite happy with that, and I think part of it is just Cole falling. Obviously, would have pushed me back a spot because he had always has the horsepower to get himself in contention again. So I would have lost that spot, and then some of that, just the way the race unfolded with the silver riders on the course. I don't want to say it's luck. I mean, because I did think I needed to move myself up earlier in the race. And there you can see Paul is able to get through these 2 riders. I don't blame these 2. There was no way I was going to catch Paul, but still. Definitely not much you can do when I got confronted with those slower riders in that finishing chute. And here I go. Paul's finishing right there, and I'm going to finish, 10, 15 seconds behind him. But absolutely lovely race. Another great season of Snow Crown racing. Absolutely so appreciate what these guys do for the sport, putting these races together. So please come out and support them next year. Sign up for the whole series. You will not regret it. Race fam, I'm out. Bye.